Ready for the opening face-off as we get underway. The draw controlled by the Lumberjacks, who are in a mostly white sweater. The puck rolled across the Blackhawk line. Waterloo in the dark jerseys. Michael Phelan flips the puck up the wall, and Hunter Ramos able to sweep it out to center. Chased down back at the Muskegon end of the ice. Veiled for McLaughlin. A redirection to the Blackhawk line by Galenic, and the Hawks chop it right back out to center. Here's Ramos into the offensive zone, taking on a couple of defenders. Could not split them, and the puck comes free. Tynan Lawrence, who you referred to earlier as one of the top players for Muskegon, dumps it in. Reed Morick, the Blackhawk captain, gets it back. Lawrence puts on some pressure, but Teddy Mulgrave able to clear it. Now Ramos turns, lifts it off the glass. It bounces across the Muskegon line, corralled by Ivan Rabkin. Got turned around. He's one of the top NHL draft prospects in this game. Backhands the puck out to center. Glove down by Mulgrave. Fed ahead, but no further than the Muskegon line.
2-on-2 rush near side. Met by McLaughlin and pushed behind the net. Popped out in front. Deering nowhere to be found. Here comes Lawrence. Ahead for Deputy. 3-on-2 Lumberjacks. Deputy. Lawrence fired on. He scores! Tynan Lawrence opens the scoring in Game 5. It's 1-0 Lumberjacks. Tynan Lawrence got it in his own zone. He went up to Deputy and was dropped off for Tynan right in the slot. He went between the wickets of Carter Casey. Take a look here on the M-Live replay. Lawrence, a headman puck up the near side, finding David Deputy. He was held off the score sheet in both games last weekend. It takes him just 3 minutes and change to get on the board here in Game 5. The USHL league leader in scoring in the postseason, his 18th point in game number 14, and the Lumberjacks, they're off and running. Sent in off the back wall to the near side corner. Barry the first one on it, takes a check but makes a play. He found Ivan Rabkin. Face off won by Muskegon. Pushed onto Godziev. Walker flew through. Shika kicked it aside. Here's Compton. Hawkins fired on. Rebound loose. Pushed in front. Dropping down. Chris clears the danger. Taken away by Galenic. Tapped ahead. Here's Nestrasil. One-on-one on Petal. Voslov off. Galenic fires into the glove of Casey. He holds on. Here's Stefanik. He'll lead the rush out of the zone. Kicks out far side. Christ. The offensive end. Fire and he scores! Jack Christ! 2-0 Lumberjacks! An absolute laser beam off the stick of Jack Christ. Carried it into the offensive zone. Take a look at the M-Live replay. Great pass from Stefanik. Plenty of open ice. He went over top the blocker of Carter Casey. And the Lumberjacks take a 2-0 lead with 5:57 to go in the opening period. Across the way, Teddy Spitznagel. Off the glass of the blue line, kept in by Compton. Up top, Ty Mason. Middle of the slot. Great block by Spitznagel. Rebound loose. Swiped off the back of the net by Huck. Oh, they were close to bring it back to within one, but Shika Godziev said no, and now Chris clears the zone. Oh, that all starts with a whole bunch of block shots by the Lumberjacks, selling out to hold on to the 2-0 lead.
And a piece of Hawkins there. Meanwhile, here's Petal with a one-timer. Drove wide. Morrow scores! Brendan McMorrow with the follow-up opportunity after the initial try by Petal came back to him off the end boards. And here come the Hawks with a goal by Brendan McMorrow, who had a really quiet series. Just one assist in the first 4 games after being Waterloo's leading playoff scorer prior to the Clark Cup final.
The fans actually wanted a penalty because Caden Hawkins was taken down. The fans were up in arms, but Brendan McMorrow gets the puck in a battle in the corner, gets it from low to high, crashes that back post off of the one-timer. Watch right here on the left of your screen, McMorrow win that race to the puck and then go right to the net. The one-timer by Petal misses but takes the fortuitous bounce right to McMorrow, who was loaded for that rebound. Huck had a similar chance just a few minutes ago.
Challenged by Rabkin. They work the wall. Morick comes to find it. He wings one wide of the Lumberjack net in front. McMorrow a chance, and he lifted it up and out of play.
Oh man, McMorrow had a chance to get his second straight goal to tie this game up. But right before that, Ramos, Deering, and Jete, the second line for the Blackhawks, had a 3-on-2 chance, and they were at the end of a shift They were gassed, but they felt like they had to make a play. They get a look at the net, and then on comes that top line with speed, with fresh legs. Townsend wins the battle. McMorrow crashes to the net, gets a lucky bounce off the back wall again, but this time just shoots it a little bit too high. I think he got a piece of Gaziev. But
Reed Davatilla played a year and a half in Fargo, unable to win the draw. Ty Mason, who's trying to get the puck, played the first half of this season with the Force, and Sam Huck was with Fargo in the preseason. So it's the Blackhawks Fargo line getting a chance. Davatilla puts it wide. Huck behind the net, wraparound try. Oh, and it was just out of Mason's reach as Nestrasil tries to clear. Davatilla capped it in, left wing boards. Another try by Nestrasil, sails this one out to center, and nearly a 2-on-1 look there for the Lumberjacks, but they wanted to change. Morick trying to move the pile. It comes free. Deering with a shot that was blocked. Compton controls, though, on the wall, right side. Fed it toward the front of the net, but it never got there. Knocked down and comes back to Compton, then Paddles shooting. And that one came up and hit Gadziev, who lunges and covers. No, he didn't get on top of it with Morick chopping at it down on the ice. Hawks reload. Peddle, side of the net. Morick put one toward the goal, but that was blocked by Barry. And the puck to the slot with Lawrence, taking it, rolling it to the line, and advancing it as far as the center stripe, so that the Lumberjacks can get a change.
What a play by Tynan Lawrence, though, to use his legs there and gain the red.
On Stefanik's stick, he comes to the Hawks zone, takes a wrist shot. Casey makes the kneeling save.
Far side wall, fired on, kicked away by Gadziev. Here comes Nestrasil again. Across the way, Galenic, 2-on-1 rush. Klee behind the defense, turned aside by Casey. He scores! It trickles in on the rebound. It's 3-1 Lumberjacks. 5:01 to go in the second, and the former Hawk gets his team back to a 2-goal lead. Watch the 2-on-1 rush on the replay. Great pass from Nestrasil to Galenic, and then Galenic to Klee, and it trickled in behind Carter Casey. They call it a goal on the ice. Waterloo's going to have to challenge if they want to overturn it. They stand inside the Waterloo penalty box. Took a couple looks at it on the M-Live replay. I don't think I see enough to overturn this again. Is it a bang-bang play and close to call? Yeah, 100% it is. They need definitive, clear-cut evidence that if this is a review, taken by McMorrow, popped down behind the net, popped out in front. Gadziev the save. He jumps on top of the rebound as well.
Tracks it down on left wing, trying to get around Claire's. Puck gets away. Townsend gets it back in front. Morick fires. He scores! Reed Morick, the Blackhawk captain, has tied this game up at 16:20 of the second period. Morick capitalizing after Townsend got behind the net and made something happen. Townsend, the leading Blackhawk playoff scorer.
These three have been buzzing all period long, but Teddy Townsend gains a step on Claire's, who hesitates for 1 second whether or not he should step up and separate the man from the puck. He allows Townsend to burn him wide. Reed Morick is banging on his stick, letting Townsend know he is in the slot, and Townsend has the wherewithal to find him right on the tape. Morick doesn't get a whole lot out of it, but he puts it in a perfect spot.
Bogus. Met by a Lumberjack. Here's Chase Stefanik, back in, fired on, rebound, loose, Christie scores! Jack Christ, second of the game, it's 3-2 Lumberjacks. Perfect placement on the shot from Chase Stefanik. Produced a juicy rebound out in front for Jack Christ. Take a look at the M-Live replay. Stefanik, a nice move away from Mason, fired it right off the toe of Carter Casey and Jack Christ. Perfect hand-eye coordination, roofed it past the netminder. His second of the game, and the Lumberjacks, they lead it 3-2. Top pedal, fired on, loose side of the net, still out. What a save made by Gadziev, it never crossed the line. Somehow, Shika Gadziev reached back behind him, into the blue paint. Definitely helped out by his defenseman, but somehow he keeps it out. Take a look at the MLive replay. Shot came from the blue line and just sat there in the blue paint. Look at the glove. The entire body of Shiga Gadziev is outside the blue paint except for the outstretched arm with the mitt. Wow. He reached with the paddle and brought it back into his stomach.
Well, the puck comes right his way off the draw for Hawkins outside the right circle. Caden Hawkins then to McMorrow, side of the net, back for Compton, a drive, and Gadziev made the save. He didn't know where it was, reaching behind, but he did cover it up. 10 seconds into the penalty time against Vayu. Tynan Lawrence batting at the puck, didn't get it out. Chate kept it in across the ice. Ramos fires, he scores! Hunter Ramos, who started the season with the Omaha Lancers. He was a Youngstown Phantom last season. The Blackhawks are his third team, and he said after he was traded to Waterloo that he was here to win a Clark Cup. Hunter Ramos has tied the game at 11:30 of the third period.
The roof almost just exploded. The offensive zone draw is won by the Blackhawks. Chase Chate makes a quick little shoulder check after he picks up the puck off of the boards, fires a cross-seam pass to Ramos, who is loaded, catches the pass and lets it rip to beat Shiga Gadziev to the top shelf. What a goal, what a celly, what a moment. And oh my God, this place is going nuts right now.
And now a 2-on-1 look. Up right wing, it's Christ. Has Stefanik. Christ with a chance. It was nudged away, came to the crease, and Casey kept it out as the net is dislodged. Crossing the line, lays it off Townsend left circle, goes across the slot, lost the handle. Rabkin takes it and whiffs on a breakout pass. Now in trouble. McMorrow takes it away, left circle. Couldn't center it initially. It came to the side of the goal and just swept away by the Lumberjacks, so the deputy can use the glass to clear it. A wraparound try, save made by Gadziev. Rebound taken back behind the net by Nestrasil. Half dozen seconds left. Nestrasil given room, slings it up the ice too far for Galenic, and it slides down. Even if it's icing, the clock shows zeros, and we look like we are headed to overtime for a third consecutive game between these two teams.
You can't ask for much more as a hockey fan, right? Next goal wins the championship game. Everything you could dream of when you show up to training camp in September. There's a hero down there somewhere.
Again, I couldn't tell you whether the whistle sounded before or after the clock ran out. It was going to be icing, but the officials are going to send everybody to the dressing room, and we will have a intermission to look ahead towards the Blackhawks and Muskegon Lumberjacks finishing up this 2025 Clark Cup final with a golden goal one way or the other.
It's going to be.
Fans have gotten their money's worth so far. 3-3 and overtime for the third consecutive game in this Clark Cup final between the Blackhawks and the Lumberjacks. Flea and Deering for the faceoff. Flea pulls it back. Vayu near his blue line, slings it ahead. Nestrasil gains the zone, trying to cut toward the net, flipped it in front. Deering intercepts it, gives it to Chate, and the Hawks look to come out 3-on-3. Flipped up ice, and Vayu knocked it down. Clear to the line, now out long, try deflected save, Casey, rebound, wraparound try, Casey the save at the post to his left on the wraparound by Rabkin. Hawks clear.
A great chance for Ivan Rabkin to be the overtime hero for the second time in this series, using that lengthy reach.
Rabkin knocks down Petal, deputy across the slot, in front, stop attempt, save, Casey! He kept it out! And now grappling around the edge of the crease and behind.
Ivan Rabkin with the wraparound chance, then he throws a huge hit along the near side wall to get the puck back to David Deputy, who makes a great move to his backhand and then protects the puck well. Here's another look at that wraparound chance. So close, Casey gets his left foot against the post at the last second to keep that puck out and to keep their season alive. Oh my God. Game of inches.
Waterloo, a line change. Jack Christ, the offensive zone. Drops off for Galenic. Gets it back. Side of the net. Poked off his stick. Fires and scores! Jack Christ, the OT winner. The Lumberjacks, the kings of the USHL.
the celebration. The Waterloo Blackhawks and Muskegon Lumberjacks make their way to the handshake line. It's the Muskegon Lumberjacks who are doing the celebrating, and the Waterloo Blackhawks will congratulate the 2025 Clark Cup champions as the tradition that has become part of hockey at every level is observed, and the two teams recognize the effort from their opponents. Muskegon 4, Waterloo 3. They win the series 3-2. Two of the three Muskegon wins coming at Young Arena. It was the Blackhawks in game 1, 8-5. A game that was an outlier ultimately in the series. Much of the rest of the way, lower scoring and hard fought. Muskegon bounced back the next night. They won game 2 by a 4-1 score. Game 3, game 4, and game 5 all settled in overtime. At Trinity Health Arena in Muskegon, the Lumberjacks won game number 3, 2-1. That one went to double overtime. The Blackhawks staved off elimination in game 4, overcoming a Muskegon rally after the Hawks had led 2-0. The Lumberjacks got back tied up at 2, and ultimately Waterloo won game 4, but game 5 in overtime, the Blackhawks did not lead. They came back from a couple of different deficits, but could not break the tie in the third period or overtime, and a hat trick goal from Jack Christ to win the Clark Cup. It was 2-0 Muskegon at the end of one period. The Lumberjacks with goals from Tynan Lawrence and from Christ. Lawrence will finish as the top point producer during this postseason. 18 points for him with that goal at 3:53 of the first. Christ got his first at 14:03. The Blackhawks responded in the second with goals from Brendan McMorrow and Reed Morick. McMorrow at 4:03, Morick at 16:20, and wedged in between a goal for David Klee. That was a good goal on the ice. The officials discussed it. They were going to step away from that one as a good goal, but the Blackhawks challenged it, and goaltender interference was deemed to have led to the goal for David Klee, so that was washed out, and the game did ultimately go to the intermission, tied at 2. Muskegon went back ahead, breaking the 2-2 tie with Christ's second of the game at 1:54 of the third period, lifting a shot under the crossbar from the edge of the crease. But Waterloo had one more, answering at 11:30 of the third. Hunter Ramos putting a shot in from the left circle and tying it up at 3, ultimately forcing overtime. 6 minutes and 1 second of extra hockey before Jack Christ delivers the Muskegon Lumberjacks' first USHL title. The win to Shika Gadziev. Gadziev with a bounce-back series after he was lifted halfway through game number 1. He played the rest of the way from game 2 onward and picked up all 3 Lumberjack victories in the series, his 8th win of this postseason. And the loss to Carter Casey, who in this playoff year became just the second Waterloo Blackhawk to win 10 postseason games in one playoff year, joining Stephon Williams. But like Stephon Williams back in 2012, that was one win short of what the Blackhawks needed. The Hawks needed 11 wins, starting with a first-round series where they got past the Tri-City Storm, advanced past the Sioux Falls Stampede and Lincoln Stars, but fall in Game 5 of the final. Meanwhile, it was Muskegon pushed to the brink of elimination early. They were the only first-round team to advance, but needing a Game 3 to do it. Pushed to a Game 3 by the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders, but then flying past the top 2 seeds in the Eastern Conference. Muskegon eliminating the Eastern Conference regular season champion Youngstown Phantoms, winning 2 on the road, and then finishing the series at home, winning 2 on the road in the next round against the Dubuque Fighting Saints, and then finishing the series at home. Well, they only got 1 in the first weekend of this Clark Cup final at Young Arena, but they ultimately do get 2 on the road in Waterloo to win the 2025 Clark Cup. The handshake line has been completed. The Blackhawks heading off the ice after saluting the fans. The Lumberjacks embracing. And in just a moment, we'll go to ice level for the presentation of the Clark Cup at the end of the 2025 season. The Waterloo Blackhawks and Muskegon Lumberjacks playing until the very last possible day, going to a full 5 games. And the Hawks.
Don't go anywhere. I'm headed downstairs. Stay put for the celebration.
Now to the Commissioner of the United States Hockey League, Glenn Heffernan.
To the fans of the Waterloo Blackhawks and the entire organization on an incredible season. Congratulations, Waterloo. Tremendous year. I'd like to express some gratitude to the ownership group of the Waterloo Blackhawks, Eric Peterson, Bob Peterson, and Mike Peterson, and to Joe Green, team president, on an unbelievable series and season. Well done, Waterloo Blackhawks. Before we begin with the presentation, we do have some thank yous to give out. First and foremost, to our amazing fans and sponsors here in Waterloo and back in Muskegon and across the league. You are the backbone that make this work and support our players and teams throughout the year, and we are extremely grateful at the USHL. The backbone of any game is its production staff and its off-ice crew. Give a big hand to all of our off-ice officials. Also recognize our game officials who don't always get the appreciation, but give our game officials a big round of applause, please. And last but not least, I want to extend my thanks to our entire USHL staff who put so much work in throughout the year. My gratitude to them. Please give the USHL staff a round of applause. And now to the Muskegon Lumberjacks on a remarkable season. Congratulations to Muskegon owner Peter Herms, to business team president Andrea Rose, Jimmy McGroarty, Steve Lowe, and Parker Burgess. At this time, we will present the MVP award, which is presented to the player for their entire performance throughout the playoff run. And at this time, we are presenting the USHL playoff MVP to Tynan Lawrence. Tynan.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it was nice of him to come over though.
Hockey fans, with tonight's result, the Muskegon Lumberjacks are your 2025 USHL Clark Cup champions. The Clark
Once
Cup
again, big round of applause for all of our teams this season on a remarkable year and a great playoff run. At this time, I'd like Captain David Klee to step forward to accept the Clark Cup.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys.
Congratulations.
He lifts the Clark Cup first. At the rink where he started his United States Hockey League career, David Klee gets the chance to celebrate as the Muskegon Lumberjacks captain in his third season in the United States Hockey League, and an outcome that is particularly special for a player who followed his older brothers to the United States Hockey League, and the Lumberjacks will get the opportunity to celebrate with the cup individually after Klee got the chance to lift it first. David Deputy and a succession of Lumberjacks will get the chance for their moment with the cup after game 5. In just a few moments, we'll go down to ice level, and Johnny Lazarus will have the chance to talk with some of the Lumberjacks, including, we anticipate, head coach Parker Burgess, as well as some of the other principal figures, starting with Tynan Lawrence as he makes his way over toward the red carpet and is about to talk with Johnny Lazarus right now. And we will go down to Johnny as soon as everything is connected.
Tynan Lawrence, 16 years old, now a Clark Cup champion. First of all, what's going through your mind right now?
It's just an awesome feeling. I'm so happy for this group of guys. You know, we battled all year long, and there's no better way to end it than on top.
Scored the first goal in tonight's game. I got to ask you, when you imagine yourself out there tonight before the game started, was it scoring a goal, blocking a shot, having an assist, making a play? What was it?
Just doing what I have to do to win. It doesn't really matter. Score a goal, block a shot, anything, just to help the team out and end up on top.
You guys weathered a storm the entire night from the second period through the third into overtime. What was the conversation like in the locker room going into overtime?
Keep it going. You know, we're playing well. It's a tied game. Anything can happen. Just keep shooting. Something's going to happen.
What's the celebration going to be like tonight?
We're going to go back and have some fun.
Congrats, buddy.
Thank you.
MVP of the United States Hockey League. He finished with 18 points in this postseason, including his 8th goal of the playoffs in this game. It looks like Parker Burgess, the head coach of the Lumberjacks, is going to have the chance to join Johnny Lazarus now.
Burgess now the head coach of the champion Muskegon Lumberjacks. First of all, what are you feeling right now?
Pretty happy. You know, all the credit in the to Waterloo, their coaching staff, their players, their fans, everything they brought. But our guys were able to stick with it. It was a great series. All these people, man, it's for them, and couldn't be more happy.
This building was loud as heck going into that third period where Waterloo came back from down 2-0 to tie the game at 2. What was the message to your group going into the third after weathering that storm in the second period?
They won a period, we won a period. Whoever wins the third's gonna win it, and it was very fitting. It went into overtime. We tied the third, and whoever got that last shot, we were able to do it, and we're champions, man.
All right, I'll let you go on that. I'll let you go. Congratulations, Coach.
Parker Burgess, the head coach of the Muskegon Lumberjacks, and Johnny Lazarus now is going to have a chance to talk with Jack Christ.
Time to win the Clark Cup championship. I'm going to ask you about your celly first. Was that planned the whole way? Did you call your shot in between periods?
Yeah, it was. I had a joke going with one of my coaches the whole year long. I was selfie sticking in practice and stuff, and I decided to pull it out for the win.
I can't wait to see that picture after, but going into overtime, you had 2 goals throughout the entire playoffs going into this game. You scored 3 tonight, but the swagger has been there the whole way. So what is the confidence? How do you find it? How do you channel it?
Yeah, I mean, got to give credit to my line mates. They got me the puck, and puck just happened to go in, and I was kind of feeling myself, and I kept shooting, and it went in.
So your first goal, I want to ask you about it. You shoot the puck in stride, you pick the top far corner. Is that something that you work on every day in practice?
Something I tried to. I don't know if I executed as much as I did there, but yeah, I mean, our game plan going in was just to fire the puck on net, and luckily it went in.
And the last thing I'll ask you, what was it like playing in front of this incredible crowd tonight and end up walking out of here as champions?
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, I can barely even hear right now. My ears are shot. This place is unreal. It's just feels so good to finally win one.
Thanks, Jack. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it. It's all fun.
Christ, 2 goals prior to tonight in the playoffs, a total of 6 points, but a hat trick including the overtime game winner in game number 5 of the Clark Cup final. Christ getting the chance to celebrate with the Muskegon Lumberjacks at Young Arena as Muskegon wins the series, winning games 2, 3, and 5 in the best of 5 2025 Clark Cup final. So we've heard from several of the principals. Thanks so much for being with us for coverage of this Clark Cup final game as the 2025 United States Hockey League season comes to an end. For Johnny Lazarus and our entire production team in Waterloo, I'm Tim Harwood. In overtime, the Muskegon Lumberjacks down the Waterloo Blackhawks 4-3. They win the Clark Cup final 3-2. And the 2025 playoffs have come to an end. Thanks for being with us. This has been a presentation of the United States Hockey League.